In this tutorial we're going to look at the viewing tools. The viewing toolbar is here, the camera toolbar. So to be able to use the viewing tools, it's obviously best if we have something to view. So let's click on the rectangle tool. I always like to start from the origin, so it's close to the axes, and we're going to type in 100, 100, enter. So I can't even see my rectangle because it's probably so small. So I'm going to go to the camera toolbar, click on zoom extents, and now you can see the 2D rectangle or square. So if I quickly want to get it into a 3D view, I can use the 3D view tab that we created in the setting up SketchUp tutorial, or you can click on the ISO button. And the 3D view is also zoomed out, so if I click on zoom extents, then you can zoom in. So next what I want to do is click on the push-pull tool, hover over the surface, click on the surface, bring it upwards and type in 100. Then I always like to go to spacebar, which is the select tool, so I don't accidentally keep push-pulling or moving it around. So next I'm going to use my mouse and I'm going to roll the wheel towards me or backwards, and you can see it's going to zoom out. If I roll it forwards, it's going to zoom in, so it's pretty straightforward. What some people don't know though, however, is that when you put the cursor where you want to go, so like the top left corner of the screen, and roll forward, it zooms into where your cursor is. If I roll it out, it zooms away. So if I put my cursor in the top right corner of the screen and then roll it backwards, you can see it's always trying to bring the model to where the cursor is, and eventually it will get there. If I zoom extents again, you can see again if I put my cursor where I want to go, it will zoom into that point and zoom away. So I can use it as a way to position and move the model on the screen. The next tool I would like to look at is the pan tool. So you can obviously access the pan tool from the toolbar. However, I would prefer to use the mouse. So if you hold the scroll wheel down, that turns it into the orbit tool. Then if you hold shift at the same time on your keyboard, you can pan. So hold the scroll wheel. So you may need a 3-button mouse, one with a wheel. Hold shift, so scroll wheel plus shift equals pan. If you only hold the scroll wheel, you get the orbit tool. So if you start from left to right, so for example if I hold my cursor on the left hand side of the screen, then hold the scroll wheel down, drag it to the right, let go, just repeat that to spin around clockwise around the model. So you just hold it down, drag it from left to right, release, and start again to keep spinning. And vice versa from right to left, start on the right hand side, drag it to the left, let go, hold it down, drag to the left, let go, then you can spin the opposite direction. And it works for up and bottom as well, just start from the top or bottom to orbit. I also find that when you want to navigate around a specific area, if you hold the scroll wheel down on that area, it can spin around that area a little bit nicer at times. So again, hold down the scroll wheel for orbit, scroll wheel plus shift for pan, and scroll wheel rolling it forward and backward to zoom in and out. If you are quite flexible with your finger, you could hold the scroll wheel plus the left mouse button at the same time and it will pan. So essentially the mouse is all of the viewing tools in one. Zooming in and out, scroll wheel for orbit, scroll wheel plus left mouse button for pan. So you can do all your viewing with just the mouse, which is quite cool. So if, for example, we want to zoom into a specific area, you can use on the camera toolbar the zoom tool, and you can drag a window around where you would like to go. The zoom extents, as you know, will take you back to the start, or it will calculate everything in your scene. You've also got this button here which is called previous, and it will go to the previous view up to, I think it's 7 undos. You've got this little man here. If you click on him, he will put you on top of on the ground or wherever you've placed him. And you see you've got your eye height as well, so we're going to be quite high up in the sky because it's only a tiny little box. So once I click on that surface, it puts me into the eye tool, look around. I can left click and drag my mouse downwards, and I can now see that box that I'm standing on top of. And lastly, we've got the walk tool. So if I click on the walk tool, it will just start to walk at the height of 1975. And you can also adjust that. Maybe if I click on the walk tool again and type in 1500 and enter, it adjusts my eye height so I can walk. If I hold the scroll wheel down, it turns it into the eye tool. That's only when I'm using the walk tool. So it's giving you like a viewing tool that it's like your head looking around rather than trying to orbit. So that's what the eye tool does. And if you walk over something, I'm going to try and walk over that little box. Eventually it might go up and down really quickly. So it can walk upstairs. It will detect that something's in the way, and it will quickly kind of like jump into the air, and you'll walk up each stair. But yeah, it's a bit too small for it to work properly. Okay, so those are the viewing tools, and I'm sure you're going to get good use out of them. I'd try to make yourself very familiar with them, because once you learn how to view, all the other functions in SketchUp become a lot easier.